greetings, welcome to my channel. It's again Lerato, and today guys I'm back again with one of the videos that I've been postponing to do. But yeah, like this few months that have passed since the beginning of the year have been the toughest. But I'm so good at putting on a smile and embracing the positives in my life. And so that is why, sometimes it becomes so difficult for people to realize when I'm going through, tough seasons in my life, including my own mom. Yeah. And so, but however, I have been wanting to share this, but I told myself that I will share this once I have gone through the season and I have learned what I've learned and I've felt what I've felt and I've overcome what I overcome. And once I have seen God come through for me, and I will share this as a testimony because I'm this person who likes sharing things when I have gone through them. I don't like sharing while I'm going through, because, sometimes our opinions can change about things when things become more hard and more tough and more difficult. And so here I am, guys, and yeah, this has been the year. In fact, 2023, it seemed as though it wasn't gonna be my year. Like we have this new year thingy statements, resolution, faith statements that we declare over a year. This is gonna be my year, da 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 da, whatever it is that you feel, we get told we should declare that into existence. And so oftentimes when we declare that, for me at least, it's normally like out of hope and because things seem to be promising, and hence like we're like, yeah, this is gonna be my year. I'm not yet there, but I can see where the journey is leading to. So for me, unfortunately, when I started this year, I was retrenched. I got retrenched last year, and obviously, like retrenchments are not just an easy thing. I was given like enough time to work, and I was compensated well. I can say, that's the most positive thing. At least it wasn't just like retrenchment, bye bye, see you later, or whatever. In fact, I feel that yeah, as besides the disappointment of having thought that yeah, I have this job that is convenient, I'm working from home, all is going well and so on, and it's paying me so well that all my physical jobs, besides having to lose all that, on the part of the company trying to meet us halfway and compensating us well, they outdid themselves. And so I do have to appreciate that. But then that does not exclude the depression, should I say, that comes with that, the disappointment and so on. Like, I didn't think I was gonna feel that way, by the way. Like, for me, I remember this thing was something that God had been warning me about, and something that God had warned me about. And I knew very well that I'm going to have to exit the company, but I just didn't know how I was going to exit it. And I had thought probably like I'm going to be the one to send the resignation. But at the time, I just didn't feel ready. I didn't have a reason. I mean, if you have something providing and there is nothing in your life that except overworking, but if there's nothing in your life that is clashing with that, like why quit? And so I remember like one of the things that happened was that last year I had a dream, and in that dream, like there was one colleague of ours that I started working with, and he had resigned from work due to work pressure and trying to balance it, studies and so on. And so I had a vision whereby this person had left, and it's more like we're in the same building, and like there were two sides. The side that I was in, the side that I was on, it was the company side, and the side he was on, it was the retirement, not retirement, it was the resignation side. Like it represented like having resigned from the company and no longer being part of the company. And so where he was, this person, I saw them like being so relaxed, being well taken care of, being just in a happy place. Whereas where I was, there was storms outside, there was rain, and the roof couldn't cover me, like the rainwater kept on coming through into the part of the room that I was in, and I was trying so hard to block the storm from affecting me, and from the rain from coming inside and so on. So I tried everything. I couldn't reach the roof, and so I tried putting certain things just so that the water does not flood the room and so on. And while I was doing that, God started speaking in the dream, and God said to me, this is where you are, and you are trying so hard to survive in your current work. Truly speaking, the pressure was hard, guys. Like that, working from home is not easy. If somebody who works from home, very well, companies tend to think that, because you're at home, you have all the time. I don't know, somehow like work becomes too much when you work from home. But like it was so hard, such that like we had few hours of sleeping. I would be very awake around 3 a.m. and so on. They wouldn't demand that you work those hours, but the work forced you to work up until then. So it was really not good for our mental health. It was so depressing, we were so tired. So God said to me, you are trying so hard to survive where you are, and you're trying so hard to remain in this job. But no matter what you do, you will never be able to block what's coming in unless if you move to the other side. And so I woke up, I was like, wait a minute, that was such a straightforward dream. Like, is God saying I must quit right now? Because I had such a season in my life. I don't want to lie. I had a season where God had been convicting me about leaving a certain job, and I stayed for long, and things ended up not working well. And I ended up like getting convicted again. And then I took that time to rest. It was very convenient because I was a new mom at the time. But life is life. I felt that no, I can't do this housewife thing. I want a job. I want to go back to work. I want to get my own salary. Like I know, like for me, my husband provides. When it comes to provision, my husband he does not shy away from that. He does not. What can I say? He does provision even beyond. Like yeah. I don't remember like having to struggle thinking about where I'm gonna sleep, what I'm gonna eat, how I'm gonna do my hair, how I'm gonna do that. While my husband is working, that's the blessing I have in my life. But life is life, and sometimes, especially if you're somebody who went to school and you told yourself you want to climb the career ladder, you wouldn't be fully content with just being at home. So guys, yeah, load shedding did its things, and I couldn't continue with the video. I had to pause, and so this is later. But yeah, let's continue with the story. So, as I was saying, I didn't expect really that depression would attack me. I wasn't depressed in a way that, like, normally when I used to struggle with depression back when I was still young, it used to be like, yeah, really depressed, like where you feel like there's no need to continue living. Let me just adjust this so that I'm not too much on the corner. So it used to be that situation where I would feel like there's no use to continuing to live anymore, and so on and so on. But yeah, like I noticed, in fact, it took me a while to realize I'm actually depressed, or am I stressed, or what? And as I said, it wasn't necessarily tied to provision and so on, and that my life was gonna fall apart. By God's grace, God has made provision for me in this season, and God prepares things for us before we can get in certain seasons, so that we can endure and wait on Him patiently. And so, however, what I'm realizing is that this situation, what it did, although it didn't affect me as far as provision is concerned, where I live and so on, in my family, it's just like I feel that I had so much plans, like I'm still, I'm still young, and there's still a lot that my husband and I are looking forward to achieving, and having to have an opportunity to work together, it's always a blessing, because then it means we can work towards those goals. And one of the things that at least we managed to accomplish last year, which we were like this close to accomplishing, was completely like closing our debts. And we currently, like literally, we were left with one last one, before this situation happened. And so we had to just continue with that one on a, like normal payment basis. But we had just resolved in our hearts that we're going to close it immediately. And, one of the things that we want to do is that we want to build for ourselves, and we're already on a saving journey to that. And yeah, like, we were already on that. Like, I remember, like, last year we did a lot of things. We had, let me know. I'm trying to I'm trying to not expose everything, because some of these things that I want to share with you, I want to break them down in different videos and just talk about my experience with those areas, as far as life is concerned, marriage is concerned, plans are concerned, adulting is concerned, and sharing, things I've learned and things that God have managed to do, and things that God have done in our lives to help us in that area. So I'm just trying to not dish out a whole lot. But yeah, like, guys, I realized I was actually depressed. And hopefully, and because I just felt like I had no purpose. Like, there was nothing I can do now to contribute towards our dreams in a way that I was able to. And I think I kind of felt like this pauses everything, and it adds a year to our plans, and so on. But God is always faithful. He comes through for us, and that's what He did. While I was here, like, I ended up resolving to say that, you know what, Lerato, you're not gonna stress about what you can't control. God showed you visions and so on, but when this thing came up and was announced by the company, it was nothing. There was nothing you could do that was gonna change things, yeah. And so it happened, and you just have to move on with life. And so what I told myself was that in this season, I'm gonna go hard on the things that God has given to me, and the things that God has entrusted me with. I believe that my marriage, it's something that God has entrusted me with, and I have to steward it very well and do my part, um as much as, like, my husband has his part to do and I also have my part to do. And so I told myself, this is the season where I'll just serve my husband. I'll just be faithful. The same way I was gonna be faithful at work, I'm gonna be faithful to him that way. I'm gonna, like, yeah, like, embrace this housewifing season and enjoy it at the same time, because I get to be here with my son, and I get to educate him. I get to use my skills as an educator of my son. And yeah, I get to spend time with him. We get to go to the malls. I get to take him, to play, whatever, play dates. I get to take him, to different places, and I'm enjoying this season, because as of next year, he's gonna be starting like grade R, and I don't want him to do it at home. I want him to be full time at school. And so from next year onwards until he's done with varsity, we're not gonna have this time again. And so I'm just embracing it, and I'm embracing, the ability to be here at home, taking care of my home, and the more I just became content with this season of life and told myself I'm gonna be faithful with it, the same way I was gonna be faithful with the job that God would have entrusted me with, it's the more I became so content, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I enjoy having to beautify the house. In fact, I've noticed something, that when my husband is working in the house, I'm not able to be as, should I say, effective as I want to be. I'm not able to be, like, as creative as I want to be around the house. I don't know. I just have this laziness that comes in when my husband is here. I just feel like I should just relax, And so, which is one of the reasons why I told him, I think you should start going to the office so that I can have the house to myself and I can be creative. But yeah, like, I was able to do that in this season. I was able to just be here at home and, look around the house, look into what things can I do, what things can I add to make the space beautiful for us, and so on and so on. And you've seen in my vlogs so far what I've been doing. And as far as the business is concerned, I told myself, God, I didn't necessarily plan that this was gonna be a full-time thing at the moment, but God, your way over mine, and this is something that I have in my hands. I'm not gonna look at what I don't have in my hands. I'm gonna look at what I have in my hands, and you've given me quiet time inspiration. I'm gonna do it wholeheartedly. You know, I just did that, and I went on my TikTok, and I'll just share the word of God, and like, yeah, people will just get impacted. I'll receive testimonies and so on. But then I realized, as people, when we reach a point where we realize there's nothing we can do to change our situations, but only relying on Him and trusting God and being content with what we currently have is what drives us towards what God has for us. And so, in this season, when I fully embraced where I am and confidently walked in my purpose in this current season, um, God started opening doors. I started getting opportunities that I didn't imagine I would get. And yeah, like it was just right on time, because then God has blessed me with an opportunity that I will probably take you through in the next videos, in the next months, hopefully. Like, not hopefully, I've chosen to document my journey. So I'm currently documenting what is it that God has done in my life, and my journey in that area of my profession. But I've told myself I'm not gonna release the videos yet. I'm gonna release them later. So hang around. Don't give up on me when you don't see videos. But yeah, like, God started opening doors where I didn't expect that God would open a door. And thing is that this opportunity required a lot from me. It required so much, and I wouldn't have been able to have the energy to entertain it and to also do what I needed to do, yeah, in order to fully secure this opportunity if I was still working, because work was demanding a lot. I was working until 4 or 5 sometimes, and I wouldn't have been able to run around, get my things done, and do this and that and that. And, interviewing was so easy for me because I was here at home. And so I was able to just interview nicely, go through the whole process, and I was not stressed and so on. And so I realized that God had me in this season, in this waiting season, because He had something in mind for me that was going to need me where I am. And so, yeah, guys, God changed things for me. And so I'm gonna share more about that, as I said, in a whole series on its own, but it's gonna take months, so just be patient with me. I'm currently recording and saving in my laptop and also in my drive in case my laptop breaks down, but I will release when the time is right. Now, as far as my studies are concerned, you guys know that I was doing my MBA, and I was now further on, with my courses, my modules, and so on. And I had anticipated that I will, at least like this, by March this year, I'll be done. But now, this whole thing of, MBA is expensive. And so, through me working, my husband was able to handle everything else, most of the things actually. And so, I was able to do certain things, but most of my salary was going towards my studies. Majority of my salary was going towards my studies. And so when this happened, it meant that it had to pause that. But you know what? I'm not going to rush myself. I'm doing this for myself and for the goals I have. And I know that God's timing is the best. And it's not as if, like, right now, what I was studying, I need it immediately, and the knowledge I gathered there, it's not a loss. And so that had to pause a bit. It had to pause. And it has also given me time to reflect, because at the moment, I am in the stage where I've decided that I should request my transcript from the university and, switch to another institution. Because also, one thing about the opportunity that I said I got, it puts me right where I want to be as far as my studies are concerned. And it just aligns so perfectly. And, I just realized, this is the reason why I had to move. And sometimes you'll be stressed and think, God, I thought I would be having this by now. Why is it taking time? But, He is working things for our good, and nothing is ever late. No opportunity for me has ever been late. I've had waiting seasons as far as work is concerned. I've had seasons where I was at home. Like, if you've been following my journey for a long time, you know there are seasons where I had to be obedient to God and just be at home and so on. But whenever He took me back on the track, it never felt like I lost any time. And so, yeah, that had to take a backseat a bit for now. I'm gonna share as well in different videos in the future, in the nearby future, what's happening as far as my studies are concerned. But I'm at a stage where I'm not negotiating. I've just sent a request to the university to give me my transcript, and they told me it's possible. And yeah, so I will just do an update on that again next time, a full update. But this is just what I can say because I've been getting a lot of questions. How far are you now? And so on. When do you graduate? How does the graduation happen? And so on and so on. And so, yeah, I felt I should just throw that in now. And as far as my business is concerned, now this big opportunity I've received, it also kind of like affect my business in a way, but quiet time inspiration, it's not just about selling journals and so on. It's also about encouraging people to spend time with God and to grow in their relationship with God and to experience God's love, to feel accepted by God, to access the full benefit of what God has called them to, through salvation. And so it doesn't just end on the journal. So I'm currently in a season where I'm also deciding on what to do with my business. I really, truly speaking, currently I'm confused as far as business is concerned because this is an opportunity I can't let go of. And yeah, God has been just showing me through different signs that this is from Him. And so at the same time, I believe God knew that I'm currently with quiet time inspiration, and whatever happens at the end of the day, it's according to His plan. And so, right now, I've actually even paused advertising because I'm very big in advertising, and which is why I'm able to get customers a lot. And so, I'm deciding now what to do. I was actually about to take my business to Take a Lot, and Take a Lot came back to me and told me that they've approved my business. I can start uploading my what can I say, product photographies and so on to Take a Lot and so on, and start selling. So we were really advancing, but I just decided to pause and just take my time. So I haven't closed the shop completely. I haven't, because I love quiet time inspiration. So, but I'm not advertising, just so that I don't overwhelm myself with orders while I'm still deciding what to do. Whereas at the same time, I'm getting customers there that come across my pages and they end up ordering. And so, yeah, I feel that that is manageable for the season I'm in, while I'm still with God and deciding and planning and so on and so on. But all things work together for good. And yeah, guys, that's my life update. And I do hope there's something that you could grab as motivation, inspiration. I don't know. But I don't like doing videos just for entertainment. I know some people, they like coming in just, to push time. But my aim is that somebody is inspired and encouraged, and above all, that somebody is inspired to keep pushing and that you don't give up in your journey just because of what you go through. This is why I come online and I share certain things that sometimes, I'm not necessarily forced to share, but I feel that if there's somebody out there who can say, I watched this video and this is something I was going through, or this is something I went through, and you have encouraged me, that's the purpose for us, being Christians, is to fellowship with each other, is to exhort each other, is to encourage each other, is to comfort each other. And I do hope that this video has done that for you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Like, yeah, let's grow together, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.